Hello and welcome to a new episode at Critical Coffee Considerations with me, Francis Beck. I'm here at Meise Botanic Garden. We're having a 2 days conference from plants to people using botanical expertise for a sustainable future in Africa. And a main part of this, actually, the second day has been almost exclusively dedicated to our work on coffee, on Robusta coffee in Congo and the projects that are ongoing, and also a lot of the difficulties. We've had Robusta Rob presenting the work on finding new genetic Canephora Robusta variants with better tasting qualities. That's one part of the work being presented. But there's also on just protecting the biodiversity in the Congo Republic. There were park rangers from the Virunga National Park showing how difficult the work is to actually protect areas that have been designated a national park, and how you balance that with the needs of the local population, also the needs of the park rangers, because it's a dangerous job, not for elephants, gorillas, chimpanzees also living there, but for armed rebels or even policemen. There's no safety for people wanting to exploit the park in a different way. So he has lost more than 200 colleagues in the line of duty fighting for, protecting the biodiversity. It's so challenging. So that's also why the conference is called From Plants to People, because you need to balance both. You need to find ways of having preserving the biodiversity, preserving also the lives. So a lot of these things are happening because people just are looking for ways to survive. So the projects that Meise Botanic Garden is in partnership with the Congolese institutions that are researching best agricultural practices there in Congo, is to create these possibilities. Also how to revamp the production of coffee, which has been Canephora Robusta coffee comes originally from Congo, but it has declined. It has fallen during the 80s to a production level that was more akin to the beginning of the 20th century, actually. So, the political instability, the risks of living there all complicate a stable production, which is something apparently required by the coffee market. They want constant volume and quality. Now we've been having, because of general climate change, these big problems again with coffee production in Brazil and Vietnam. So maybe that is presenting an opportunity for Congo to fill in this lack in demand and revamp their Canephora Robusta coffee production. Although there's already also very good Arabica options in Congo, as long as they're able to certify the coffee they are making, which is another big thing, very much to concern of everybody involved in the coffee research in Congo. How are they going to be able to deal with EUDR, which is coming into force at the end of this year? This will be a big challenge. You have a lot of very small farmers. The median is actually just having 30 plants. 30 Robusta plants would give them just 15 kilograms of coffee. At the local market, they would be selling this at $1. Let's just make it a euro, €1, 15 euros in a year. It doesn't really sound like something with which you can survive. So there's really a lot that needs to be done at a lot of different levels. So this kind of financial studies that we had Dr. Ibn Pukhoven study, what's the best approach, selling, trying to create a local market and selling at local markets, or bringing the coffee to Kinshasa, selling there, or selling it at the international market. What's the best approach to be able to, get value for all the effort they're doing in growing the coffee there? So a lot of these questions we're discussing here together with our partners from Congo, Italy, France, a lot of partners working on these very important topics. And we also got to taste the excellence of their work working on the Lula Elite lines. So Robusta coffee isn't or doesn't need to be purely how we know it, as being this very bitter tasting coffee. We've had Lula Elite lines that we got to taste, comparable lines from Uganda Elite Robusta, and then a traditional Vietnam Grade 1 Robusta coffee, which was just the bitter kind of taste that I'm actually used to with the Vietnam beans that I roast at home. And now here I have this one of the same coffees, but now prepared with the Jura machine, that we are hoping to be able to offer people visiting the Meise Botanic Garden when the new visitor restaurant opens in September. So this is the first time I'm tasting this as a Jura, let's say close to espresso. Let's see how it is. Okay, very chocolatey, and not just chocolatey, nutty, not that nutty, a nice taste profile. I would definitely be pleased, being a visitor here in the garden, getting to taste this research-linked coffee that's not just research, it's trying to help revamp the Robusta production in Congo. So you can help Congo not by, buying stuff that require the earth, minerals, and all the exploitation that goes with that, but by having a good quality cup of Robusta coffee that hopefully, is more sustainable in the long run, also with climate change. But of course, that's an issue of a totally different scale. So many things going on in the world. This is just a small step to try and, right a wrong in Congo, giving them a nice economical branch, let's say, to work on and improve the lives of so many very small farmers and their families. So hopefully by September you will be able to taste this coffee just like me when you pay us a visit here, and this way you might also be supporting the research we're doing in Congo on Robusta, Canifora coffee and other kinds of coffee, because there's a lot of genetic variety in coffee that we need to protect in Congo. So as you might know, Coffea arabica is kind of the child between Robusta and Coffea euphanoides. Now the relatives of euphanoides and Canifora, most of them are also native in Congo. So there's so much genetic diversity that we need to go and protect just by being able to find it and have it in collections. Not to collect it, but to preserve it, so that when we get more in trouble, we're already in trouble with our biodiversity, that at least they're still in collections and we can try to reintroduce them to nature when that might be necessary. So a lot of interesting information these 2 days. For me, it was the first scientific coffee conference I got to attend, so very pleased about that. I hope I was able to share my experiences here and show you what we are working on as researchers. And so yes, thanks for following, and hope to see you on a next video or here in the garden.